almost ready to get underway again. The Fog City Rollers Shipyard Sirens in the white. They're 1-1 on the tournament. They beat Mass Attack Roller Derby. They lost to Hartford, and Granite State took a tough loss to both of those teams, but they're here to fight again. They are sending Critical Hit to the jam line versus DC Kamikaze for the Shipyard Sirens. Here we go, Brady.
All right. Oh, and Critical Hit, she did that stomp move the other day, and it paid off for her. So let's see if it pays off again.
That's
I
right.
have to ask her what that's all about. Maybe it's some part of her strategy there.
Sort of like a haka.
Yeah,
almost.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's stomping with attitude.
All right, well, we've got a foot race. Lead
Jammer
jammer
chase.
going to DC Kamikaze, but she no doubt heard the gliding footsteps of Critical Hit, so called off the jam. 0-0 on the first jam, Brady. Hits and Giggles next on the jam line for the Shipyard Sirens, and it's Tasmanian Devil with the star for the Granite State Roller Derby All-Stars. Interesting footnote, I understand that one of Fog City's bench coaches, Curry, is having a birthday today.
Oh, happy
Brady.
birthday, Curry.
And Hits and Giggles giving her a birthday present right now, getting lead jammer for the Shipyard Sirens. Tasmanian Devil is through the pack as well, and this is going to be a 4-point hit and quit for the Shipyard Sirens.
Get some love there from Tea and Crumpets.
Absolutely.
Jamming for the Shipyard Sirens, and we have number 13, Debbie Downer, jamming for GSRD in the black.
Okay, actually the last time these two teams played was in 2016, Brady.
Oh.
And at that time, Granite State did take the win by a score of 200.
2,000, gosh, I hope not. Oh boy, I hope not.
201 to 166. Right now we got Debbie Downer with the jam star for Granite State, but another lead jam going to the Shipyard Sirens, and this is number 23, Tea and Crumpets.
Debbie Downer giving the hustle, though. She's not far behind.
I'll say we have a call-off and another scoreless jam, so pretty tight in the early going, Brady.
Yes. All right, people, where are you at? Tell me where you're from. I haven't heard anybody saying where they're from. I want to know. Tell me where you're from.
And Critical Hit and DC Kamikaze going to do battle again. Two Shipyard Sirens in the penalty box. So
one standing, one sitting, though, so it should be hopefully quick.
That's correct. We will see. It's a possible green light situation, however, for Critical Hit. And Critical Hit does indeed get lead jammer.
First lead for Granite State.
That's right, and DC Kamikaze still trying to negotiate that initial trip. And now I don't know if she did, Brady. Big hits being dealt out
wow.
there. Oh, boy.
But Granite State is able to pick up 4 more.
That's right. That was Angie O'Nasty for Granite State with that big jammer takedown. DC Kamikaze fighting through now. Second scoring trip for Critical Hit. Critical Hit gets 4, calls the jam, so Granite State taking the early lead.
Right.
8-4.
All right, we got one person who responded. Thank you, Nat Vator. I hope I'm saying that right. From Fog City.
All right, well, welcome to you.
NV. Natalie Vator.
All right, on the jam line now, Hits and Giggles for Fog City. And she'll be taking on Debbie Downer for Granite State.
So I just got some info from Chad. Natalie Vator is on the comments here. And she actually used to play for Fog City.
Oh, wow. Well, hello and welcome to the New England Roller Derby coverage of Coastal Chaos 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament. Tasmanian Devil with a big drawback on Hits and Giggles.
Oh, and Giggles down again, but does get to keep going
Yeah.
because there is a penalty called on, I believe that's Angio Nasty.
That is correct.
Forearm, I believe.
4 points going to Hits and Giggles. Debbie Downer through the pack now. Hits and Giggles hits. Calls the jam. We're waiting to see, I believe, 3 points going up for the Shipyard Sirens, and 3 going up for Granite
an evenly
State.
matched jam. So we are at a tie, 11-11.
That is correct.
Critical Hit and Tea and Crumpets coming up again to the jam line.
That's right. And
Are we going to have wheels on the jam line again?
Granite State with 1 blocker in the penalty box. This should be a Granite State advantage, but Critical Hit able to hit at exactly the right time. Lead jammer now for Granite State. The pack is depleted, each team with 1. Oh, Critical Hit bumped to the inside by Little Nikki. And, well, Little Nikki protected her point, but 3 going up for Granite State. So Granite State taking the lead, Brady.
All right. Ooh, let's look at that replay. I think Critical Hit jumps to the outside
There's
here.
Little Nikki right there. Nice
and
bump.
See, the hard thing about that is, like, they don't get the point if they step out of bounds, but she did call it. So she was right there. But if she started calling in midair, I think she would have gotten the point. But since she stepped out, I don't think she got, that's why she didn't get all 4.
Granite State on a 2-0 lead jam run right now. This is Tez, Salami, and Devil. DC Kamikaze having to play catch up. Taz into the pack now, finding the going pretty tough. Oh my gosh, look at DC Kamikaze, Brady.
2 points up for DC Kamikaze.
And waiting to see 3 for Granite State. So Taz, Salami, and Devil shaking her head as she heads over to the bench, but she did get a...
She didn't see that coming, did she?
She got a 3-2 win on the jam. So 17-13 with 23 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this first period. Who's on the jam line now?
Looks like we have number 13, Debbie Downer for Granite State, and number 8772, Hits and Giggles for Shipyard Sirens.
Sirens with 1 blocker in the penalty box right now, but their 3 blockers doing a pretty solid job on Debbie Downer right now. That is Debbie Lee Downer with the pivot stripe for Fog City, holding back her almost namesake, Debbie Downer.
Well, both jammers are now out of the pack, but Debbie Downer is lead. She may have to call this off because Hits and Giggles is in front of her.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen, Brady. But 3 straight leads for Granite State. So if you're a Granite State fan, you got to be happy about that. Next up for Fog City, we've got Tea and Crumpets and Critical Hit. So 2 hit-themed jammers at the start line. I'm looking over, and the Sirens have 1 blocker in the penalty box, so it will be a 4-3 pack advantage in favor of Granite State. So Granite State finding some purchase in the early going here. Tea and Crumpets looking outside. That is stuffed by Taz, Salami, and Devil. Now Critical Hit just ducks a shoulder, comes through for lead jammer. 4 in a row for the Granite State Roller Derby All-Stars.
Tea and Crumpets getting pushed back again by Tess, Salami, and Devil, but that may be a clockwise on Tess, Salami. No? Okay, I did hear a whistle. I wasn't sure.
Okay, well, Tea and Crumpets had to take the star off to aid in her trip through the box. Critical Hit already has 4 and about a 30-foot lead. She's going to go into the pack, call the jam.
She did get a cut track penalty, though, so the jam is still going to keep going for a whole nother minute.
That's right, and Taz, Salami, and Devil's going to have to sit down for Granite State as well with the pivot stripe. So Tea and Crumpets now in a power jam for the Shipyard Sirens.
I believe the call on Taz, Salami, and Devil was a clockwise or direction?
Direction of gameplay.
Direction of gameplay, yeah.
Okay, first scoring trip completed for the Shipyard Sirens. And again, this is Tea and Crumpets. putting up 4. Shipyard Sirens down by 4 now. Another scoring trip could tie up the game, and I think that's exactly what Tea and Crumpets did. Here comes critical hit out of the penalty box.
Bursting right through there.
Wow. So
4 more for her.
Yeah, it's 8-8 on the jam. Still 15 seconds on the jam clock. Boy, Sassy Dick with a nice offensive seal.
Ooh, a critical hit, 2 critical hit. I didn't see who that was from my vantage point, but I think it was Kimmy Crippler. I think there were 3 6s in that number.
Yes, it is her. Right. And the Shipyard Sirens are making the universal signal for the power jam, and I see why.
Yes.
As sitting back in the penalty box will be critical hit for the Granite State Roller Derby All-Stars. We have a timeout by Granite State. Why don't we run down the rosters for both of these teams,
Sounds
Brady?
Good.
Who's skating for Granite State?
For Granite State, we have 1-0-0, Taz Slammy and Devil. 1-2, Meals on Wheels. 1-3, Debbie Downer. 1-5, Angie O'Nasty. 2-0, Critical Hit. 3-6, Fearless, who is also the captain. 4-0, Penalty Bex. 7, Comma Slice. 731, Kim Possible. 922, Enos Flytrap.
All right, and for Fog City, 023, Tea and Crumpets. 14, we saw her in action, Little Nikki. 143 is Stunflower. 22 is Chubonkia. 28 is DC Kamikaze. Number 36 is Dame Smash Shoes. Number 4211 is Debbie Lee Downer. Number 5, Alien She. Number 506, Haka Harlow. Number 666 is Kimmy Crippler. Number 728 is Banana Bomb. Number 828, Sassy Dick. Number 8772, Hits and Giggles. Number 911, Snatch Adams. And number 934, Dozer. We've got a power jam start favoring the Fog City Sirens. Who's that on the line, Brady?
I believe that is number 28. That is DC Kamikaze.
Okay, and oh boy, nice coordinated offensive formation.
Yes.
Springs DC quickly. Lead jammer on the power jam in favor of the Fog City Sirens.
4 more on the board for DC Kamikaze. That brings them to 29.
That's right. It is a lead change in the game.
Lead change.
Critical Hit has now been released from the penalty box and no doubt will be hitting the pack with vigor. Here she comes now. DC Kamikaze was deposited outside by the Granite State defenders, and now Penalty Bex is really anchoring a defensive formation. Critical Hit completes the initial trip now. DC Kamikaze completes another scoring trip and calls the jam. 4 more points. It's a big 8-point jam as the Shipyard Sirens take the lead.
Speaking of Shipyard Sirens, they are starting with Chubonkia in the box, and it looks like, I can't see who it is. Is it number 212 in the box? The pivot for Granite State is also in the box.
That's right. I believe it's
7, comma slice.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Good eye, Brady.
She's got a big number 7 written on her arm.
Good eye. So it's 3-on-3 in the pack. Debbie Downer jamming for Granite State. Hits and Giggles for Fog City. Hits and Giggles getting to the front of the pack, but blasted to the outside by Fearless. That gives a little bit of an advantage right now to Debbie Downer. Oh, another penalty going against Granite State, but Debbie Downer is in fact lead jammer.
Turning to the track now is Chubonkia to help her teammates.
And Taz Slamian Devil with a jammer takeout on Hits and Giggles. Hits and Giggles is taking the hits this time. Don't know how many giggles she's getting out of this one. She's finally through, however. 4 points going up for Debbie Downer. And Debbie's going to roll the jam, calling it off now. No additional points for Granite State. 2 picked up on the back end by Hits and Giggles. Hits and Giggles having a couple of giggles there, Brady.
Yes. They're all in good spirits, I think. I think everybody thus far has been in good spirits
Well,
throughout these games.
I think you're right, and that's one of the great things about the WFTDA recognized tournament program. It brings high-level competitive roller derby a la WFTDA to a variety of locations all over the world. We'll talk about that more. But right now we've got action. Who is that out in front?
That
Lead
is
jammer.
number 23, I believe, is DC Kamikaze.
Yep, lead jammer for the Shipyard Sirens looking to expand upon their lead. Oh, that was a
I'm sorry, that is Tea and Crumpets. My bad. I saw 3 and 8, and I just connected the 8, and I was like, oh, that is not her.
Well, Tea and Crumpets with 4 points and looking for more as Critical Hit is only now completing that initial scoring trip. So, oh, how about that? Tea and Crumpets.
Nice to the outside there.
Yeah, the Fog City Fog City Pack players really just pushed the
Yep, you can see it right there on the
formation
replay.
inside.
Watch them again.
Yep.
They'll do it. Run,
Tea and
2,
Crumpets.
3, and push.
Beautiful.
There they
Tea and
go.
Crumpets hit it with precise timing, and it resulted in an 8-0 jam. So now the Shipyard Sirens are up 43-31 in favor.
Now it is DC Kamikaze jamming for Shipyard Sirens.
Sooner or later.
Whoa, jumping through the center.
Wow.
DC Kamikaze for the lead.
Wow, she just planted that right skate and elevated to the left.
Nice.
That was a
Sweet
all-star
moves.
move, yeah. All right, Tasmanian Devil is through for the initial trip now. DC Kamikaze being slowed down by that hard-hitting Granite State wall.
And
two
is
points.
that 2?
Yep, 2 points going up. Yeah, you know, stop to think about it. Would you want to run into a granite wall? I think if I could avoid it, I'd probably choose
I
not
would
to.
too. That was a good one, Gretchen. I'm going to tell that later to my husband.
Okay, 3-2 pack advantage in favor of Granite State now. They'll send Debbie Downer against Hits and Giggles for Fog City. But Hits and Giggles beats the odds. Lead jammer for the Shipyard Sirens.
Closely followed, though, by Debbie Downer.
You are correct. And now the odds are even as both teams with 3 blockers on the track. A quick call off, a scoreless jam. How about that? Well, hey, the Granite State really playing well and playing together in this game. The Shipyard Sirens looking to go 2-1 on the weekend. And that would potentially qualify them. Well, it all depends. There's just too many variables to know a lot right now about like the third and the fourth
Third
place.
and fourth place, yes. Gotcha.
Here we go now. Tea and Crumpets with the star for the Sirens, and she quickly gets lead jammer. Critical Hit is about a track behind now in the open spaces. I see 4 black jerseys against 2.
Oh, a nice attempt at an apex jump.
Yeah, but
I do not think she landed that correctly, though, so she has to recycle.
It was thwarted by Meals on Wheels for Granite State. Yeah, nice blocking by the Granite State All-Stars. But coming back, taking the hits and persevering, Tea and Crumpets putting up 4 points, but 4 for Critical Hit as well. All right, back to the action now.
Tea and Crumpets just passed very nice and gracefully the hips of, believe.
Yeah, she got all 4 points,
yes.
Brady.
Yes.
So that was a well-timed. Only 1 going up for Granite State. Still, not all bad if you're a Granite State fan. However, Shipyard Sirens pulling away a little bit right now. It's a 17-point game. Shipyard Sirens on 53, Granite State 36. Tasmanian Devil to the line for Granite State, and DC Kamikaze jamming for the Shipyard Sirens.
And DC Kamikaze has the lead.
That's a position she's been somewhat familiar with this weekend. Tess Slamey and Devil still caught in the pack. Oh, my, Brady.
Ooh. A knock to the inside very hard, but that made a very open window for DC Kamikaze to just cruise on through and get those 4 points.
That's right. And Tess Slamey and Devil
And
is through now.
Oh, a nice easy cruise to the inside, and she calls it off.
Well, that's another nice birthday present for Coach Curry on the Fog City Shipyard Sirens bench. An 8-0 jam. That takes the Shipyard Sirens up to 61. Granite State still on 36. Who do we have on the jam line, Brady?
We've got Hits and Giggles and Debbie Downer.
All right. We also have an empty penalty box.
Nice. And Wheels to the Line. They don't want them getting any kind of momentum there.
No.
Oh, wow. Lots of arms flying in the air on that.
Why, Hits and Giggles. I swear, she almost levitated herself outward, and when she came back down, she was already generating forward momentum. That was a beautiful release to get lead jammer, and now she's through quickly for 4 more. Debbie Downer for Granite State is pulling off the star. Pivot for Granite State is Meals on Wheels.
I think her thinking in that was that, if I take this star off, maybe the Sirens will go for my pivot and I can get out. But
it's been known to work.
It's semi-worked, but unfortunately the jam was called off before she could do anything.
That's right. Another 8-0 jam in favor of the Fog City Rollers Shipyard Sirens from St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. And let's see, with almost 10 minutes to go, 10 minutes and 10 seconds, it is a 33-point lead right now for the Shipyard Sirens. Got critical hit jamming for Granite State. Up at the front of the pack, though, Tea and Crumpets pushing it and getting lead.
But it is a race, and it looks like Tea and Crumpets is going to call that off.
Yeah, critical hit took advantage of some geometry there. A hole opened up.
Yep.
She blasted through it.
Yes.
And forced the call off. Okay, our officials for this contest are WEB Destroys, Doomsday Llama, Decrypt Keeper, Apex Predator, Melfire, Lopez, Sam, Big Brad Wolf, Snappy Turtle, Guillotina, Verbal Assault, Razor, Refson Style, Julius Caesia, Automaton, Slammerous, and Gluten Freedom. Thank you so much.
I just got a fun fact from Lady Lana of Central Maine Derby. Hits and Giggles and Stunflower both play with her on her team. That is so cool. Hashtag fun fact.
Yeah, that is. Lady Lana, after a day full of camera operating and help with the New England Roller Derby Report broadcast, was actually skating last night.
Yes, I saw her put her little skates on. She's so cute. She got them little feet.
All right, we're back to action now. Debbie Downer with the star for Granite State. DC Kamikaze for the Shipyard Sirens, and the pack is pretty well packed in turn 1. Debbie Downer can't quite get up in time. Lead jammer going to DC Kamikaze. DC Kamikaze fighting now against Debbie Lee Downer. And Debbie Lee Downer, who had been jamming for some of the games this weekend, mostly playing the pivot position right now, Brady.
That was a very nice follow through by Angie O'Nasty on that jammer. But she was unable to hit her because that would have been an illegal contact. She would have been out of play. Oh, that was a bean dip if I ever saw one.
Yeah. Okay,
bean
star
dip.
pass going to Tess Slamey. And
gosh, now I'm singing that song, Da Dip. Anybody in the comments remember that song? I put my hand up on your hip. And she put her hands on her hips to call off the jam. When she dips, you dip, we dip. You know that one?
Oh, yeah. DC Kamikaze putting up another 3 points, so it's 11. Shipyard Sirens. What do we got there, Brady?
Someone likes our jokes.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm here all night.
Yeah, make sure to tip your waitresses and your bartenders.
All right.
Or your servers, I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's one of the funny things about having walked the earth for 6 decades now.
6 decades,
Yes,
Gretchen. You're kidding me.
Yes, absolutely right.
You don't look a day
And
over 4 decades.
thank you for that. I'll never tell. But you know, terms change. And like waiter or waitress is almost never used anymore.
Server.
It's always just a server.
Yeah.
And I mean, I certainly not anything against it. I think it's probably a progressive move in language and thought. But old habits die hard sometimes.
They do indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, so tip your servers and your bartenders.
There you go.
And Brady, you'll be here all night.
I will. Slaw is asking for a refresh on the scoreboard.
Okay, it's 80.
It's coming.
It's
but
80 for the Shipyard Sirens, 36 for the Granite State Roller Derby All-Stars. We got 8 minutes and 4 seconds to go.
We've got critical hit lining up for Granite State. And it looks like hits and giggles again for Shipyard Sirens.
That's right. Sirens with 1 blocker in the penalty box. That is Sassy Dick. So 1 blocker pack advantage for Granite State. They are holding back hits and giggles right now, letting critical hit push that pack herself.
She was so focused on pushing that pack, she didn't see to the inside that hits and giggles was just like, oop, I found my spot. Here I go.
That's
she is
right.
your lead jammer.
Well, the way the geometry of the turns works, strange angles occur during pack play. This is a 4-point, it would appear. We got to wait for the official signal to go up. Yes, 4-point hit and quit for the Shipyard Sirens, and called just in time as critical hit was coming in strong for Granite State. All right, now, the pack advantage is going to go the other way. Shipyard Sirens with 4 blockers on the track and 1 Granite State blocker, the pivot, in the penalty box. Here we go. Who's jamming, Brady?
We got Tasmanian Devil for Granite State, but it looks like lead is going to, I believe that is 2, 3. That is Tea and Crumpets.
Tea and Crumpets in the lead position. Tasmanian Devil now through on the initial trip. Oh, I'm wondering, we had a direction play called. That's going to go against one of the Sirens blockers. And a 2-2-2 jam.
Woo.
Yeah, Tasmanian Devil, a very speedy skater.
Yes.
For Granite State.
She knows it matters.
Yes.
But she's jamming and blocking and jamming and blocking and jamming and blocking.
And now a revision, and actually Granite State won that jam.
Oh.
And another point going up for Tasmanian Devil. Back to the live action. DC Kamikaze jamming for the Shipyard Sirens for Granite State. It's Debbie Downer. DC Kamikaze pushing at the front, and that is penalty Bex working her over along with Angie O'Nasty. They have to let her go. Sorry, Brady.
That's okay. Debbie Lee Downer has made her way to the penalty box. So the pivot is no longer there to help DC if she needed it, but they do have another blocker on the track now.
DC Kamikaze through the pack for 4, going to call it off just in the nick of time as Debbie Downer was coming in pretty quickly. A little contact there right at the end of the play, but
I don't think it impacted anybody too
no
much to get a
impact,
penalty.
and I think that was a judicious application of officiating discretion.
Right.
There.
That sounded fancy.
How about that?
Yes.
4-3 pack advantage in favor of Granite State. Critical hit versus hits and giggles. Tell us what's going on,
There's
Brady.
her famous stomp again. I am really going to ask her about that. I have to know what that's all about. If anybody in the comments knows what that's all about, let me know.
There you go. Boy, Tasmanian Devil just hip checked hits and giggles hard to the outside. Hits and giggles able to recover. Still no clear advantage in the pack. We're into turn 2.
Taslamian Devil just found her way backwards to the inside line to try and meet up with some of her teammates. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Skill right there.
I'm pretty impressed with Hits and Giggles getting through that tough Granite State wall. As she is lead jammer, takes a bump to the outside, picks up 4, calls off the jam.
This is quite the hit and quit game we're having here.
It is, Brady. That's interesting. You know, we've seen gameplay go in a lot of different directions here this weekend. Obviously, with 8 teams, you're going to see a variety of styles. Again, you know, the Shipyard Sirens looking to end their weekend on a winning note,
Yes.
2-1. That would be very advantageous for them.
I think with jammers like tea and crumpets, it's extremely possible.
You may be right. Debbie Downer jamming for Granite State, looking to turn things around for the team in black. Meanwhile, Tea and Crumpets is going up to the front of the pack for the Shipyard Sirens. She is lead jammer.
Cannot even see Debbie Downer from here, but right
Well,
to the inside. Just a quick recycle on that.
Big hit by, I believe that was Debbie Lee Downer again.
How ironic.
Yeah, taking a shot at Debbie Downer. And yeah, Debbie Lee Downer had jammed in a couple of previous games.
Against Debbie Downer?
Yeah, well, not against Debbie Downer, but so a couple of the officials were saying, "Oh, we might have a Debbie Lee versus a Debbie." Oh my goodness, that's
smackdown right there.
I'll say. And the penalty's going to go against Kama Slice, who had the pivot stripe on. Meanwhile, Tea and Crumpets just continues to pick up points, 4 more going up for the Shipyard Sirens. That is a 12-point jam now, and the Shipyard Sirens have eclipsed the 100 mark in the first period, Brady.
We've got a 67-point spread here. Quite the spread. Is that one of the bigger ones we've seen today?
It is, actually, yes, especially in the first period of play. A couple of the games ended up going a little bit larger, larger differentials, but it all happened in the second period, and now we have a penalty on Debbie Lee Downer, and it's going to be a power jam start in favor of the Shipyard Sirens. Forearm penalty being assessed, I believe, on penalty backs.
Gosh darn, if they are fighting hard to keep DC from getting lead, but it looks like they weren't able to maintain the pack, so they had to let her go.
Yeah.
She is your lead jammer, DC Kamikaze.
DC Kamikaze has really been fighting hard this game. Kama Slice, I thought, had taken a star pass. She went to the penalty box with the pivot stripe on her helmet, but she had the star helmet cover in her hand, so she's coming out. Oh,
a nice hit by Taslamian Devil on DC Kamikaze there. I think I saw that coming. She knew she was coming. She's like, I'm going to stick my butt right out here and get her.
Taslamian Devil does not like bean dip.
No. That's just going to be a thing from now on, bean dipping. Hashtag bean dip.
DC Kamikaze was racked by a hit. I believe it was Angio Nasty, for Granite State. She called off the jam and looked as though she might require some medical attention, but she's up under her own power now. Let's watch the
Rock. This is just checking on her just to be
sure.
that was the Taslamian Devil hit.
Yeah, making the statement about bean dip. Said no bean dip on my watch.
I think she may just be going over to get an ice pack because falling right on your tailbone is not a party.
Ain't no fun. No. Ain't no fun on a concrete floor. It's no fun on, grass, for goodness sake.
I mean, if ever anything wanted to, motivate me to wear butt pads, it's those type of falls right on the tailbone.
That's right. We've got an official review now being requested by the Shipyard Sirens with 33 seconds left in this first period.
Oh, poor Sasha. You did that yesterday. Ouch, girl. How are you doing? Are you doing okay today? Are you sitting on some ice?
Oh, no, Sasha, yeah, that's, well,
It's unfortunate.
we commiserate
Yes.
here at Coastal Chaos
Oh, no, it hurts
2019.
to cough. Oh.
All right.
Well, don't do that, silly.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yep.
All right, we are getting some information right now about the official review. Gretchen is just listening in to Carnage, one of our announcers here, who's announcing in-house. I actually announced with him last year, and the reason I remembered him is because he had this patch on his jacket that was a dumpster on fire. So now I just call him Dumpster Fire. And here is Gretchen with the news.
All right. I had the information from our announcing colleague, George Carnage. Actually, Fog City Rollers were asking for a high block on that last jammer stop on number 36 black. That's Fearless. And upon review, the officials agreed that there was a high block that took place. So Fearless will start this jam in the penalty box, and the Shipyard Sirens will retain their official review.
Okay.
Here we go right now. Hits and Giggles with the star. This could be the final jam. Oh, we've got Critical Hit in lead jammer position, however.
And some confusion in the box. Stunflower thought that she had gotten the penalty, but it was actually her teammate and fellow jammer Hits and Giggles.
Interesting. Critical Hit calling off the jam. It was a scoreless jam. If nobody stops the clock, we are going to be going into halftime with the score 113-39, and that's in fact what we are doing.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gretchen Little.
And I am Brady Punch.
And we'll be back with the second half of this one in about 14 minutes. Thank you for watching New England Roller Derby Report's coverage of Coastal Chaos 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament. Welcome back to Coastal Chaos 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament brought to you by the Rock Coast Rollers of beautiful Rockport, Maine. Brady, it is a lovely day today.
Yes, I was out there today driving around when I had a couple of games off because I worked almost all the games yesterday. So thank you for that break, by the way, Gretchen. And I went to this really cool transportation museum, and they had a lot of cool things in there. So there is stuff to do up here. People think Maine is like, what's there to do in Maine? And there is tons.
Oh, there's plenty of to do in Maine.
The weather today definitely improved from yesterday. Yesterday it was cold and wet and just gross, but today was a nice weather day.
That's right, and of course this broadcast brought to you by New England Roller Derby Report.
And they would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order leg wear for teams and individuals. They have size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available, so please see sociopath.ca for more details. If you spend over $45 Canadian on their website, you can get free shipping until May 3rd. Just make sure you enter code NERD, that's NERD, for that free shipping until May 3rd on orders over $45 Canadian.
All right, by May 3rd you said?
Yes,
okay.
That's quite a few days away.
You got time.
Oh, we got some flossing and dancing out on the line here.
All right, Critical Hit for Granite State. Hits and Giggles.
Time to get serious.
Yep. I tell you what, if this game keeps up the way it would appear at halftime, Shipyard Sirens could be making a move in the rankings. They are currently ranked number 254 in the WFTDA, and Granite State is ranked 228. So And the I keep saying that.
You
The
keep
Fog
doing
City
that.
Shipyard Sirens are well ahead. This is Hits and Giggles lead jammer.
She made me giggle earlier. She was just waiting and she was shaking her little butt up there. I was like, ha ha. So she makes other people giggle too. But she is easily through that pack, dancing around and outside,
Yeah,
calling
off the jam. Only getting one, however, because Critical Hit was closing quickly for Granite State. Again, if you're just joining us, Granite State in the black. And the Fog City Rollers Shipyard Sirens from St. John, New Brunswick, Canada.
Do we have any
in the
new
white.
people watching? Anybody?
Well,
I saw some Canadians and I
we'll
don't know
find
who else
out.
is here, but please let us know where you're from.
Oh, nice
Ooh,
takeout
youch.
there by Fearless. Just dipped into the shoulder of, Tea and Crumpets,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And Tea and Crumpets sent flying to the outside of the straightaway, but back on the feet and looking to get to the front of the pack. Meanwhile, it's Debbie Downer fighting the Shipyard defense at the back. And lead jammer.
Tea and Crumpets is lead jammer.
That is correct. Debbie Downer with the star for Granite State. Oh, look at that work on the outside, Brady.
She just glided through there, no problem, like a hot knife through butter. Ooh, I haven't used that analogy yet. I wonder if that's on announcer bingo.
Well, it very well might be. But, all right, another scoring trip now in progress for Tea and Crumpets. And 4 more going up. Debbie Downer's got to be a little frustrated right now, really getting popped by this Fog City defense. That was Alien She teaming up with Little Nikki on that takeout.
Debbie Downer does have the star off. Her pivot is in front of her, so she's in good position to grab that star, and it looks like she's attempting to do so, but she pushes Stunflower back instead.
Yeah, I would think after a minute and 35 seconds of punishment,
Yeah.
I'd be looking to hand off
I'd
the
be like,
star.
hey,
but
friend,
yeah.
help me out.
That's just one more of many reasons why this gal does not play roller derby. All right, 4 more going up for Tea and Crumpets.
Looks like Tea and Crumpets is just kind of chilling, running around here,
Yeah.
and she's gonna let the clock run out.
Well, a 16-point jam for the Shipyard Sirens in jam number 2. An explosive jam for Tea and Crumpets till the very end.
Yes.
When she just kind of
She's
let
just
it.
like la-di-da-di-da. And look at her sitting cross-legged on the bench right now.
Smart work,
Fancy lady.
however, by the Shipyard Sirens to run the clock in that situation. They're going to send, well, it is Debbie Lee.
Downer.
Yeah, Debbie Lee Downer for the Shipyard Sirens taking on Critical Hit for Granite State. And Debbie Lee Downer with a back block penalty.
Power jam for Critical Hit.
That's right.
She is
Granite
pushing her way through
State
and leaps forward. She is lead.
looking to score a few, get back into this game right now. You know they're not going to give up. Taslamian Devil getting in to try to make some space for Critical Hit.
Critical Hit already did gain that 1 point because the blocker was in the box, so that was an easy point, but she did manage to get all 4 on that pass.
That's right, and coming in with renewed speed for a second scoring trip, Debbie Lee Downer released from the penalty box, but still has not completed the initial trip, Brady.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Taslamian Devil with a nice takeout.
Almost to the
outside.
inside. Critical Hit almost had that inside line, but just got a little bit of a tap from 666 Kimmy Crippler.
Okay, Debbie Lee Downer is through on the initial trip now. Critical Hit going to call off the jam. She offers congratulations to her opponents, but picks up 3 more.
All right.
So a 7-point jam in favor of Granite State.
Now we have Debbie Downer, not Debbie Lee Downer, but Debbie Downer for Granite State, and DC Kamikaze for Shipyard Sirens.
And don't look now, but the penalty box is empty. So
Clear.
it's 4 on 4 in
right.
the pack. Here we go. Start whistle has blown, and DC Kamikaze pushing. You know, if I were to award a MVJ at this point in the game, I think I would be leaning towards DC Kamikaze.
I think so too.
For the Shipyard Sirens. She's really been effective.
Yes, especially on the outside. I feel like that's her favorite spot to go.
Like you said, right there is
right
a
there.
4-point scoring trip on the outside.
Yes. Sunflower is currently in the box. I did not see what the penalty was for, but she knew it was her, and she headed straight to the box.
All right.
Another 4 for DC Kamikaze.
It is indeed.
Debbie Downer fighting hard on the inside, but then tries to go out, but is knocked down hard by number 506, Haka Harlow.
Yeah, penalty assessed on the play, but DC Kamikaze is just unfettered through the pack right now. Dozer trying to get one more hit on Debbie Downer, excuse me. Nice stop by Fearless. Stunflower with a pretty offensive block right there to prevent Angio Nasty from rolling back any further. 2 points go up for Granite State.
Good
That's the
strategy
good
there.
news if you're a New Hampshire fan.
Yes.
However, 13 going up for the Shipyard Sirens.
I refreshed it.
All right.
Hits and giggles on the line for the Shipyard Sirens alongside Critical Hit for GSRD.
That is right. All right. And one blocker in the penalty box for Fog City. So it is a pack advantage for Granite State. Let's see what transpires.
Critical Hit is so strong. She's pushing all 3 of those jammers.
Oh, but
oh no, a penalty assessed. Did you see what it was for, Gretchen?
No, I did not. I would guess it was a back block.
All right, so
If I
power
had
jam
to,
for hits and giggles.
Either that or a forearm, because she was basically on her own. It certainly couldn't be the.
Yeah, I think she was impacting play. Like I said, she was pushing that pack forward, and she could have possibly impacted play with the incorrect part of her body.
That's a safe assumption, Brady. Hits and giggles, meanwhile, with 4, looking for more.
Ooh.
Oh my! Big takeout by Taz Slamian Devil. There again, if I were to award a most valuable blocker, Taz Slamian Devil would have to be up there.
Yes, my choice as well.
Really a rangy player, gets a lot of space covered. Hits and giggles now going to call off the jam. Critical Hit getting into the fray, but no points going up for Granite State. 3 more for Fog City.
All right. Looks like we have tea and crumpets for the Shipyard Sirens alongside Debbie Downer for GSRD.
Yeah, a little fist bump between
love
competitors
it.
on the start line.
There's been such good camaraderie here, and that's what makes roller derby so special to, especially me, because I thrive off of those social interactions. I would love it, if people were friendly with me and then I had to pretend to go in there and just basically beat them.
Well,
that's my kind of game.
That's kind of roller derby in a
nutshell.
Right. Oh, a penalty now going on Debbie Downer. It's a cutting the track call.
Debbie,
so another power jam going in favor of the Fog City Rollers Shipyard Sirens. And Fog City looking to blow the roof off this thing right now. They've had a very successful initial 9 minutes of the first period. Oh, how about Fearless, though? Fearless isn't going to go quietly, no doubt about that. Rolling back. Well, okay, Tea and Crumpet's going to call off the jam. Will take the, how many points is that, 2?
Yes, 2. Sometimes it's hard to tell because the walls here are white and the refs aren't wearing tape on their fingers this time around, but that is through no fault of their own. If they can get the signals read to the scorekeepers, that's all that matters.
Yep, and Debbie Downer now standing in the penalty box, and we're going to have a Debbie versus a Debbie lead jam.
Exciting.
Okay, whoever wins lead jammer in this next jam will be last name of Downer.
That looked like a hard hit.
40 penalty. Bex with the pop out on Debbie Lee Downer.
She looked like she was almost through, and then Bex came out of nowhere.
Yeah, got her in exactly the right position.
Oh, but lead is awarded to Debbie Downer.
That's right.
Surprise.
Debbie says, I am the Downer who matters. But Debbie Lee Downer is now trying to catch up. She's got about a half a track. Debbie Downer is gonna call the jam. Debbie Lee with one.
They both got one.
No, I don't know. They both may have gotten two. Oh, 1 and 2. So Debbie Lee wins the battle of the Debbie Downers. Maybe it's that extra syllable that makes all the difference. Debbie Lee, who knew?
DC Kamikaze lining up for Shipyard Sirens and Critical Hit for Granite State.
All right, and it is 5-on-5. Penalty box currently unoccupied. Here comes DC Kamikaze on her own and just trying to burrow through that defensive formation. Can't quite do it. And we have Critical Hit as lead jammer.
All right.
For Granite State. Yeah, DC Kamikaze.
Ooh, nice outside move. She almost lost her balance there, but Critical Hit gets another 4.
Taz Slamian Devil took DC Kamikaze to the outside, but Taz Slamian Devil also went out of play doing it. So alertly, DC Kamikaze recovers, exits the pack. That forces the call off, but a 7-0 win on the jam, favoring the Granite State Roller Derby All-Stars.
Timeout now for the Shipyard Sirens.
Okay, well, yeah, you know, Granite State has made some moves here in the last couple of minutes. I guess Shipyard Sirens want to talk about that. We want to talk about the upcoming WFTDA recognized tournaments.
Yes.
Let's see. This weekend they're almost done as we are here in Maine, but Southern Discomfort and the K-Town Shakedown. What's going on next weekend, Brady?
Now, since I have learned how to say this properly, thanks to my Canadian friends on the chat, put up your toques, and a toque is a hat, I also learned. That is May 3rd through the 5th in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. That is hosted by Tri-City Roller Derby.
There you go.
And we have the Big O at the same time in Eugene, Oregon, hosted by Emerald City Roller Girls.
So 2 big-time, exciting WFTDA recognized tournaments next weekend. Watch for them streaming.
Do you know what level these skaters will be at like put up your toques and Big O?
Oh, yeah. We can get the, well, you can look online and see the specific teams, but Big O generally brings in, a top level competition.
Okay.
You're talking about at least, I think Bay Area will be there.
Yeah?
I'm sure that Denver will be there, I believe.
Okay.
And, yeah, a couple of other
I will want to watch
championship level teams will be at the Big O. Hits and Giggles now is through the pack, but not lead jammer. The jam is called, and the result is scoreless. It was Debbie Downer with the star getting lead, however, for Granite State.
Speaking of Granite State, Critical Hit is now jamming for that team, and Tea and Crumpets for Shipyard Sirens.
Okay, we're down to 17 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. Again, I mean, it kind of bears repeating, actually, that Fog City came into this weekend ranked number 254 in the WFTDA. Granite State was ranked number 228. So not only may Granite State drop in the rankings, but I would hazard a guess that Fog City is going to rise significantly as a result of this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shipyard Sirens, Tea and Crumpets was lead jammer on that jam, but she was closely followed by Critical Hit.
Was right there, yeah.
But she had to call off before she could get any points on that pass.
Okay. Okay, so that was jam number 10. It is currently a 100, almost a
100-ish jam.
Yeah, 100-ish.
Or point spread, sorry.
Point spread, yeah. Two
That
less.
would be a crazy jam if it was a 100-point jam.
Two less than 100. 98 point lead right now. Debbie Lee Downer jamming against Debbie Downer
And
again.
she's the lead jammer this time around.
I tell you, it's that extra syllable.
Yep. She's got a little extra.
That's right. And Debbie Lee Downer very
Ooh,
fast into
nice
the pack.
zigzag. I like that move.
Oh, Debbie Lee.
It worked for her. She got 4 on the board.
Shipyard Sirens were holding back in the first period. It would seem.
Ooh,
What
that
a
was a
huge
crazy hit by Kimmy Crippler.
Yeah, Kimmy Crippler. Oh, look at Debbie Lee Downer. Wow, showing another gear. Just
Yes.
going into overdrive
It's like
here,
4th
Brady.
gear.
Yeah. Woo!
Ooh, a nice swoop around Taz, Slammy, and Devil. We know Taz can hit really hard, so that's probably why Debbie Lee wanted to avoid her.
Yeah.
She did that bean dip.
Fear is one of the greatest motivators known to womankind. And here comes Debbie Lee Downer again.
Woo, on that
Wow.
outside. Gliding through.
4 more. This is just a phenomenal jam by Debbie Lee Downer. I don't know, it's not the extra syllable. It's more than that.
Oh,
but
wow.
she is just in total control.
She is. I didn't even see any attempts to block her from the Granite State players. It looked like she was just like, oh, here and go. Oh, whoa.
Finally, Taz Slammy and Devil puts an end.
She nips her on the side and just sends her flying.
One more
Woo.
going up. We had a star pass, 2 comma slice for Granite State, but that's a 21-point
Wow.
jam for Debbie Lee Downer. Just a skating clinic, too. It's so much faster than, I'm sure many other skaters that were on the track could skate that fast,
Yeah.
but they weren't.
Right.
Not right then.
Right.
It was
She
only
was
Debbie Lee Downer
determined.
at that speed.
All right, we have critical hit jamming for Granite State, and it looks like
Yeah.
DC Kamikaze is your lead jammer, also
That's
from
right.
the Shipyard Sirens.
The Shipyard Sirens really putting the hammer down right now. We are under 15 minutes to go in this game, and critical hit is out. I think right now DC Kamikaze is going to just roll the jam. Oh, nice stop there by Sassy Dick.
Oh!
Friendly fire there as critical hit is sent to the infield. And the Shipyard Sirens are just going ahead to roll this clock right now, I think. 4 more going up for DC Kamikaze.
Directional penalty called on Sassy Dick, so she will be stopped in the penalty box. Looks like they also have another blocker standing in the box.
Yeah, now there is an interest, from a point differential perspective, if you roll the jam that long, you might as well try to roll it to get a couple of your blockers out of the penalty box. However, what do I know? Hits and Giggles is on the jam line for the Shipyard Sirens.
Oh, and has Slammy and Devil jamming
Yeah.
for Granite State. This should be good. She's a
Well,
leggy girl, so she can get those gams around that pack.
4 blockers on the track for Granite State, 3 for the Shipyard Sirens. Just a couple more seconds and they might have sprung their other blocker, but actually sitting down in the penalty box is 1 Shipyard Siren. So here we go. Taz Slammy and Devil hasn't been jamming much in the second period.
Oh, she's been blocking like heck, but now she is the lead jammer for this jam. All right.
Yeah, Hits and Giggles escapes the pack just barely. Angie O'Nasty was trying to zero in.
That was a fast pass by Taz Slammy and Devil for 4 points for GSRD, bringing them up to, is it 64 or 68? Have they not changed the scoreboard yet?
64, I
Okay.
believe, yes.
All right.
Yeah, 183 for the Shipyard Sirens. And we got Debbie Downer now for Granite State ready to take on Tea and Crumpets again. And, of course, if you can't see, it's Tea and Crump Hits.
Crump hits.
It's not Crumpets with an E-T-S. Oh, no. It's a hits.
Yep.
All right, back to the action. Tea and Crumpets finds room outside thanks to her pack players, and she is lead jammer. Debbie Downer getting bumped around now up front. She's through the pack too. And Tea and Crumpets gonna go ahead and run through the pack, and unearned pass at the end, so only 3 going up. Ooh,
That's right, and because there was a player down, so she did not pass that opponent legally. That is why she did not earn that point.
Wise maneuver to go through anyway, though, rather than saying, "Oh, I want to go back and get that."
And get that 1 point. Yeah, no, you've already got that advantage over quite a few skaters. There were about 2 or 3 skaters behind her already, so she was like, "I'm just gonna go."
Okay, Tea and Crumpets letting a little time air out from the clock. We're under 11 minutes now. A 7-4 jam in favor of Fog City. Again, Fog City representing St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. Their Shipyard Sirens are their A team, if you will, their travel team. Their Granite State Roller Derby coming to you from, Concord, New Hampshire. Yeah. All right, we've got a timeout called right now. This is Granite State's final timeout of the game, Brady.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, that little dot is flashing next to them.
Well, let's talk about a couple more of the WFTDA recognized tournaments coming up.
So after the Big O, we have Flat Track Fever May 10th through the 12th in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Then that's hosted by Calgary Roller Derby. And then we have Paris is Burning, the 2E edition, May 25th through the 26th in Paris, France. That is hosted by L'Étoile de Paris.
Oh, I would like to be there, no doubt about it.
Me too, especially at that time of year. I'm sure it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Well, the penalty box is empty, so we'll have 4-on-4 in the pack. Granite State will send Critical Hit to the jam line against DC Kamikaze for the Shipyard Sirens. And a little bit of talking now. The official timeout is continuing, at least for now. I think somebody may have fouled out of the game here, Brady.
Oh.
As I'm looking over there, they're packing their bag. No, the penalty box crew is just checking in. Right, I don't see anybody leaving the playing surface.
Right,
so
yeah, they would pass right by us if they were leaving, I think.
Yeah, okay. 5 seconds
False alarm.
going up by WEB Destroys. And back to action. DC Kamikaze into the front of the pack. Critical Hit with that signature stomp move going into the back. Ooh, Critical Hit with a little bit of daylight. Lead jammer awarded, and she stays inbounds.
Kimmy Crippler was following her, but she was like, not today, Satan. Get it? Get it? 666.
That's right. And Critical Hit doesn't want to cede any additional points to the Shipyard Sirens. Can't blame her. She calls it off because DC Kamikaze was closing fast, Brady.
Good decision. Good decision.
Yep. We got Fearless
well,
now.
Here we are now with
Getting ready
Fearless
to jam
as jamming. Can't wait to see what she's got up her knot sleeves.
Well, she certainly has made her mark on the pack play this weekend. No doubt has some jamming skills as well. Oof. Debbie Lee Downer, the author of that 21-point jam, is
Fearless is on a power jam. Go Fearless.
Yeah, back block called on Debbie Lee Downer.
Help her out. GSRD, help her out. Get her lead.
Right. Fearless is
there she goes.
Digging in. Lead jammer going to the captain of Granite State Roller Derby All-Stars.
Nice.
Fearless on the power jam now. And Tasmanian Devil getting in, trying to make some room, along with Angio Nasty. All right, the power jam is over. Debbie Lee Downer is released from the pack, but she still has to complete the initial pass.
Yes.
So Fearless has some time now. There we go. This will
There
be
she
4
goes,
points.
a little help with her friends, and she gets through with 4 on the board and is calling. With a nice
4-point hit and
slide back
quit.
into her team
Yeah,
area.
yeah, the team is very, very pleased
Yes.
with that effort
Very
from
proud
their
of her.
captain. That takes Granite State to 72, and the Shipyard Sirens still at 190.
Now we have Debbie Downer for Granite State and Hits and Giggles for Shipyard Sirens.
That's right. And still 5-on-5 on the track.
Mm-hmm.
Penalty box crew getting a well-deserved break.
Yes.
For the time being.
I know what that's like. I do penalty box timing from time to time. Last time I did it was at Botus, and we had a couple of crazy, like, jammer do-si-dos and, like, multiple blockers coming in. It was crazy town in there for a little while, and when everybody got out, we were like, phew, please not again.
Yeah, all right. Well, oh no, it is a track cut penalty on Debbie Downer. So lead jammer.
Full 2 minutes on this
excuse
one.
Me, I misspoke. It was a track cut penalty on Hits and Giggles.
Yes.
So Debbie Downer is now
Oh, I see.
the lead jammer and on a power jam for Granite State.
All right, so she can call off the jam whenever she wants. I was also mistaken. I thought that Hits and Giggles had it.
Comma slice
Ooh,
making
wow.
room. That was Sassy Dick
Sassy
with
Dick.
just protecting the inside line and pulling a cut track penalty on Debbie Downer. So this will be a 2-minute jam, Brady.
Yep.
Hits and Giggles
I spoke
released.
it into existence.
Debbie
Up
Lee
against Taz
Downer.
Slammy and Devil.
It's a worthy competitor
One
right
woman
there.
wall. Ooh, she maintains her balance, is able to keep blocking Hits and Giggles, but has to let her go because she was a little bit further than 10 feet from the pack.
That's the only thing that kept her from digging in. Wow, that was an exciting little 5 seconds there as two competitors.
Ooh, now
Tess,
that was for last time. She got her that time.
Yeah,
She had to
revenge.
make sure. Oh.
That's Slammy and Devil. I mean, I hope y'all can watch just how active she is in the pack, always looking to hit somebody. Power jam is over. Debbie Downer putting up points for Granite State. The jam time's out.
Yes, Sasha, one-on-one is definitely hard. You know, someone from Charm that is a one-woman wall that I always used to admire is Marv E. Lust.
Oh, yes.
You may know her, but she can definitely be a one-woman wall when she needs to.
Marv's been at it a long time, a member of the Maryland All-Stars for several years now, and
She was on, oh my goodness.
Strong
Can't remember the team
skater.
before Charm, but it was definitely on the East Coast of Maryland.
in Maryland. Okay.
Yeah. Just can't remember the name right now, but she was on their team for a long time. And we have a lead jammer. It is Critical Hit for GSRD, followed by Tea and Crumpets.
Tea and Crumpets about a third of the track behind. So, Critical Hit was almost forced into a back block.
Wipeout.
You could see her face seeing what was going on. She's like, oh no. Oh, but a back block going on Tea and Crumpets.
Get your bingo ready. It's a jammer do-si-do.
All right, and another 2-minute jam. Critical Hits with a smile on her face. It's like it's almost karmic that Tea and Crumpets suffered the same fate because Critical Hits was coming into the pack at such a speed that she couldn't really avoid that back block.
momentum, yeah.
Now
all right,
both
4 on the
jammers
board
are
for
free.
GSRD and 4 on the board for Shipyard Sirens.
Yeah, and with 50 seconds left in the jam, anything could happen.
Bingo.
All right.
I think I heard someone shout bingo.
Critical Hit now looking for the outside, but that's actually occupied by Tea and Crumpets. A little inadvertent offensive or defensive jamming perhaps. 4 go up, however, for the Shipyard Sirens. Critical Hit being rolled back. And I believe that was by Haka Harlow, who's been doing some great pack work all game long for the Shipyard Sirens.
10 seconds left in the jam, and Critical Hit is able to put up 4 more for Granite State.
Yeah, so we're currently tied. Tea and Crumpets is, oh my God, the hits are coming hard now. Oh, a high block is going on Stunflower. Stunflower checks to make sure Kama Slice is okay. That's certainly a sports person-like thing to do.
Yes.
However, Stunflower's going to have to sit down to start the next jam.
Timeout now for Shipyard Sirens.
Yeah, they are on 2:04. Granite State with 8. 10-8 on that last jam for the Shipyard Sirens. And this gives us a little time to talk about the remaining WFTDA recognized tournaments in this season. Of course, we have the Callio Finvitational, May 31st through June 2nd. Helsinki, Finland, hosted by Callio Rolling Rainbow. And that same weekend here on our side of the Atlantic Ocean, Brady, what do we got?
Midwest Brouhaha. That's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, hosted by Brew City Bruisers.
Yeah, and then Denver, the Rocky Mountain Roller Girls will be sponsoring Westerns June 7th through the 9th in Denver, Colorado. And that same weekend, what do we got?
One more day before that, they start Ufta Palooza. That is June 8th through 9th in Wausau, Wisconsin. Again, Wisconsin. It's a popular place. Hosted by Mid-State Sisters of Skate.
Great time.
I asked B to say that 5 times fast, and she said no, thank you.
Yeah, B's very smart
She is.
in many ways. And, wouldn't take the bait on that one.
No.
All right, DC Kamikaze ready to jam for the Shipyard Sirens. Debbie Downer with the star for Granite State.
Heard some whistles, but it looks like one of the Shipyard Sirens is going to the box. Not sure what for.
It's a 4-2 pack advantage for Granite
All
State.
right, and Debbie Downer takes advantage of that advantage and has lead jammer status.
Debbie Downer speeding up, but so is DC Kamikaze. Oh, Debbie Downer's going to have to call it off. She doesn't want to give up any more points, and it's another scoreless jam.
Someone's blowing bubbles over here with a bubble gun, and it's amazing. And someone is eating them. I hope they're edible bubbles. Just goes to show the variety of fun things we do here at tournaments.
Okay, it's still going to be a pack advantage in favor of Granite State. They will send Critical Hit to the line against Debbie Lee Downer. Debbie Lee Downer with the author of the biggest jam of the game. That 21-point jam, I believe. Okay. Oh, Critical Hit, however, sees daylight.
Oh, and she is very close behind your lead jammer, Debbie Lee Downer.
Debbie Lee Downer just had the outside a little bit before Critical Hit did. And Debbie Lee Downer lost the sight of the outer track boundary. She's called for skating out of bounds.
Oh, my.
Wow.
I feel like that was a bit of momentum on her part.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, I really think that maybe it was just kind of, there was enough in front of her visual field that maybe didn't see where the line was.
Oh, gotcha.
Although the line certainly has, I saw them
we're
lay
gonna watch
this
that
track.
again, possibly.
Yeah, they have a rope under there, so there would have been some sensory feedback there from the wheels. But an official review is being requested by the Shipyard Sirens, and I would guess that this is what they are reviewing.
Right.
Brady.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well.
Call. Yeah. Well, that's one of the things, however, with a skater with that level of speed and cutting ability, I don't know, maybe it was a little bit dusty in that particular corner or something, and those edges just didn't grab.
Right.
That's kind of what it looked like to me, but in any event, you know, it's not our decision to make.
And I have heard that concrete can be slippery. I myself have only skated on concrete once, but not competitively. It was just as a ref. And I did feel some slick spots. I don't know if anybody in the comments can attest to that, but I think concrete may be the hardest type of surface to skate on.
Well, you know, I've heard varying opinions, and you know, I'm sure that different skaters have different styles. You know, for a lot of the
or
top,
preferences.
yeah, the top exactly. So a lot of the top level skaters I know enjoy skating on a highly polished concrete surface more than any other.
Why is that? Do you know?
I think probably because it actually does have more grip.
Oh, I would think, you know, my brain makes me think the opposite. Like really shiny looks really slick to me.
Yeah, well,
not,
but
though.
it depends on what it's polished with, I suppose. I'm
okay.
really speaking a little outside of my specific knowledge. Because personally, I like good old wood, but you know,
So
that's
do
just
I.
me.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to confer with George Carnage now
Sounds
about
good.
about the official review.
All right. Yeah, so can anybody comment on the conditions of floors, like what you prefer or what would be best for you? Personally, like I said, I think concrete is a little slick in some spots. I guess it could be dusty. I know one person who actually fell on a turn on polished concrete and did some pretty bad damage to her leg. So let us know in the comments what you think. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think I'd be really interested in hearing that. Okay, George Carnage explained the text of the official review to me, and what happened, as we suspected, the skating out of bounds penalty was challenged by the Shipyard Sirens. The question was, did Debbie Lee Downer skate out of bounds to avoid a hit or because of a hit? And
it was to avoid.
And the call will stand because the officials saw that she skated out of bounds to avoid a hit. And so the Shipyard Sirens will not retain their official review, and the power jam has continued up until now, Brady.
Yep, so it looks like Debbie Lee Downer is back in the pack and jumping through it. Wow, what effort and ability right there. But
That's right.
But she has not matched Taz Slamian's Devil's 8-point jam and going for oh, well, just kidding.
She has now.
She has. I eat crow.
Okay, so Taz is going to call off the jam. 4 more going up, so it's a 12-4 jam. And Granite State go over the 100 mark.
Let's look at this again.
All right, let's look at this again.
So nobody pushes her.
Nobody pushed her, so she avoided a hit, I think.
Yeah, the number 36 is Fearless. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was a good read, and the right
so there goes
decision
Fearless.
was
Oh,
made.
and she did go around her. She went around the opposite way. Yep. It's a good replay. Thanks, Chad.
All right, we're back to live action. Fearless is back at it again, terrorizing jammers.
Oh, boy.
That's Hits and Giggles now, who she's working over. Debbie Downer with the star for Granite State.
Oh, wow. That was a big hit. I hear a whistle on that. I believe that's on Fearless.
No, it's a low block on Hits and Giggles, so we are going
power jam. Everybody's doing the power jam sign. Do, 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 do.
We're going to end the game on a positive note, one might think, for Granite State.
Right.
Debbie Downer is lead jammer, and the power jam will continue. We're into jam time. The period clock is down to 0. 1 minute and 7 seconds to go on the jam clock. Debbie Lee Downer might want to take as many points as she can and then shut this thing down. Here comes Hits and Giggles now out of the penalty box, but I think she's still got an initial trip to make. That is in fact
correct.
what happened, yeah. Okay, so now Debbie Downer has to make the decision because Hits and Giggles is coming fast.
Oh, her wheel kind of wiggled on her. I saw that.
Yeah,
She was coming around, and I think one of her trucks might have been loose because I definitely saw a little wobble in that wheel.
yeah, she went head first,
Oof.
but got a smile on her face as she's
She's
getting
like,
up.
that's all right.
So Granite State
happens.
finished strong. They put up an 8-0 jam to end the contest and knock that differential down under 100 points, which is
All right.
significant.
It
That's
is.
always a good
Every
good
last
effort.
little bit counts.
That's right, good effort. So we're going to see some different results, I would guess, in the next WFTDA rankings as the current number 254 team has just beat the current 228 team by 98 points, Brady.
All right.
Now we're seeing the victory lap being skated by